Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's Monday night. It's time for the trade of the day, the Monday night Zoom edition. And Bitcoin was just snoozed over the Easter holiday, but pumped up over 40,000 again today. So that's good news. Let's look at the chart. All right, you guys should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. And I made a slight adjustment in our trading range. We did top out here around 48 at the end of March, trending down ever since. I think I had this at around 39.4, something like that. I just dropped it to even 39. Did wick down earlier this morning, but bounced back pretty strong. Briefly went over 41K. And then gave some of that back. So, but I'm pleased to see us over 40,000. I'd really like to see this be a hard floor for Bitcoin and work our way up from here. But I'm not entirely convinced that we won't be bouncing on this 30, testing this 39, maybe dropping down into this range down here that we had in late February, in between about 37 and 35. It's hard to tell where we're going to go. We just don't have the volume for a sustained drive right now. If we can get our price up to 50K, I think I've said it before, we have a good chance of bringing in some retail. That could push it up closer to 60s. But at this point, volume's still pretty low, and we're just kind of hanging around 40, 41, 42 in that range. Let's take a quick look at the news. Those of you trading view, news buttons right here, the third one down. If something happens unusual, I like to pop in over to see if something has been released, but nothing is really jumping out at me at the moment. All right, so Ethereum has got mostly higher lows. So that's a good sign. It wouldn't surprise me though if we came back and tested this level here, around 2750, and bounced from there. Right now, we're trying to hold 3,000 as a hard floor. I'd like to see that, 3,000 and bounce, get up to, back up here in the 4,000s. That would do well for my bag of Ethereum. But at the moment, it's kind of hanging around here, this 3,000 level. Look at the news. Yeah, looks like it's just duplicating. A lot of times TradingView is lazy on this. I'll just put the same news items on all the coins. All right, well, that's about all I have for the overall market. Any questions or comments about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the whole market? All right, well, let's see if we can find some trades on Altcoin Alert. All right, so here we are on Altcoin Alert. I have the, I don't care for the dashboard look. So I'm on the Altcoin radar, so I get all the information. Turning off easy mode, it gives me all the columns. First thing I do is sort by AA score. You've got a good friend Luna up here, up 17% today, so could be played out. Go to the chart. So look at the day chart so you get the big picture. This was trading well over $100 earlier this month. So looking for retracement possibilities. It looks like we've got that here. Big move today though. It's a little after 5 p.m. Pacific, so UTC, it's midnight. So we have the new, this is the day candle closing. And the new one's opening up and it's down a little bit. On the 1 hour chart, see the big move up to about 90. I think it's going to have some difficulty there. 5 minute chart. Yeah, I don't like this at all as an entry. It's above the Bollinger, top of the Bollinger Band. As you can see, doesn't like to go through the Bollinger Band, usually hovers below it. So on the 5-minute chart. So there's a couple things we can do for a good entry. I suspect it's going to retrace a bit. Got some support right here between about 83.50 and 85. So if you want to put an alert down here, say at 84, I think that would be reasonable. Just right click on here, add alert. I like round numbers, 84, you know, go long, something like that. And you're good to go. The other thing we like to do is use our indicators. You can see I've got my divergence here, MFI, RSI, MACD. So I like to use these on the 15-minute and longer time frames. Usually if you get a movement like this on the RSI where it drops below the 30 considered overbought, I'm sorry, oversold, and coming back up, that's usually a 1, 2, 3 dip situation on the 5-minute chart. Since we have some new people on here, let's see if I can find a 1, 2, 3 dip example. It's probably one of my favorite strategies. Let's turn off divergence. Not really seeing any recent examples of it on this Luna chart. If I see another one, I'll point it out. This one's just, you know, kind of shooting up, so it's not a good example. So then on the, what I like to do is go to the 15-minute chart and put an alert on one of these three, either divergence, the MFI, or the RSI. I'll take a quick look and see what's played out. You know, this is based off the AA score, so we're looking for the coin to go up. And we've got a couple situations where divergence kicked in and it did go up, like here. Went up like almost 2%, not bad. This situation, it went up, you know, about 2.5. This one, it went up not quite 1%, then a pretty big drop. Might have done an additional purchase or a ladder buy around here and then caught it back up. Even held on longer. So this divergence indicator was really good. But yeah, this is a really good lineup here because we got the divergence going off. We've got the MFI going below the 20, then back up again, and the RSI going below 30 and back up again. So this is a really good setup here. I don't think we talked about this kind of thing before, but yeah, when your divergence alert goes off and then it gets confirmed shortly thereafter by the MFI and the RSI, that's go, get in. Not financial advice, but yeah, that's good stuff. Unfortunately, it happened at 10 o'clock at night. I was watching basketball with my dad, so I didn't see this, but that would have been a good one. So how do you get alerted on such things? You can, quick review on divergence. It's when the indicators disagree with the price action. So in this situation, we've got you know, price action trending down and the MFI going up. Let's show that real quick here. Yeah. So in this situation, you can see the green line going down on the MFI, but the MFI values are going up. So that's divergence. It's a disagreement. So usually when that happens, the price action starts to catch up with or starts to confirm the indicator. Now, you don't have to draw these or even know how they do that if you just download, you know, this divergences indicator, divergence from any indicators. That's the one I like to use. And you can set an alert, right click on it, positive divergence. I would probably AA. I usually put the AA score in like 83.7. There we go. Actually, I forgot to point out, you want to be once per bar close, not only once. You only use once on price alerts. Any indicator alert you should use once per bar close or once per bar. On divergence, you should almost always use once per bar close, or it'll repaint. What it'll do is it'll flicker and then go away. You don't want that. You want to make sure it's confirmed by the price, by the closing candle. And then the other alerts I like to do, the RSI is probably my next favorite. I want to go down below the oversold with 30 value and then come back up again. So right click on RSI, crossing up. Value is 30, that's the oversold value. You can go with either once per bar close or once per bar on this one. There you go. And then you can do the same thing on the MFI. You just use the 20 value. Up 20. Once per bar close or once per bar. All right. And you'll be ready if Luna takes a dip. You know, people start to take profits up here around $90, $92. Maybe it drops back down to 84, 85. Confirmed by one or more of these indicators, and you'll end up with a good entry on Luna. Hopefully. Any questions on Luna? Did you see that in the upper right, how it flickered and then went away? That was a bearish divergence. Yeah, it just did it again, just popped in there. That's why you have to use that close of the candle on your alert, or it can flicker like that and then go away.
I don't have a question. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Not a question about Luna per se, but when you're drawing lines for support and resistance, what time frames are you normally looking for?
That's a good question. I do most of my entries as a day trader on the 5-minute chart. So, you know, here's an example of some support right about here. So that would be one area. There's just looking for like 5 or 6 candles in, you know, kind of clumped together. Clumped. There's a term of art for you, clumped. But that's how I think of it. So I'm seeing that here, and you can go crazy with this. If you see like 3 or 4 of them, then you'll just have lines all over your charts to the point where they're almost useless. So I usually just eyeball it. I don't usually put these lines in, but you know, I'm doing that to kind of help the visual. But yeah, this is where I'm seeing support at the moment. So you know, theoretically, you could put in a buy order here, and another, maybe split it into 3. Let's say you have $100 you want to get in on Luna. Maybe put, you know, 35 here, 35 here, and 30 down here. So you have a kind of a dollar cost average, or a ladder buy, as we call it, approach. Of course, if it keeps going down, then you could be in it for a while. So
thank you.
All right. And obviously you can do the same thing on, you know, 15-minute charts and 30-minute. There's some people who do it on multiple time frames. You know, I went through a program once where they said, you know, look at your day chart, and then your hour, and then your 5-minute. You know, but then my chart was full of lines, so I didn't care for that approach. So I like to do it on the 5. Okay. It would be reasonable to do it on a larger time frame if you're doing more of a swing trade. But I'm a day trader, so this is what I do. Okay, let's. Anything else on Luna? All right. I'm not seeing anything else in the very bullish category. So the other sort I like to do is the long-term sentiment. Quick review, the sentiment score is the word on the street, the Twitter data. You can hover over this and it'll tell you what it is, but it compares the last 24 hours to the last 20 days, the Twitter activity. So what people are talking about. I like to match that up with the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a trend-based strategy or indicator, kind of like the MACD. Compares 20 days and 50 days. So when these two match up, that's worthy of further investigation. Okay, so we have very bullish and bullish on Ren. I looked at this morning and I just missed an entry because I was in a Zoom, dadgummit. So let's go to Ren. Okay. On the day chart. It's kind of cluttered. So like a lot of our charts, exception of Luna, they had big moves in October, November, lost most of that, down 80%. Kind of came back earlier this month and down again. So plenty of room for retracement. On the 1 hour, had a good move today, which is probably why it's on this list. And on the 5 minute, it's bouncing off the top of the Bollinger Band, dropping a little bit. Not a real good entry on the 5 minute. We had this reversed. See if I can remember how to do this. Yeah, if it looked like that, now we're into a dip sequence. Like 1, 2, 3. Probably get in right about here. Up to the Bollinger Band would be 5%. That's a really good day trade. If you're not as aggressive, there's resistance here, around 3%. But this is made up because I just flipped the chart, but I wanted to give you an example of what a 1, 2, 3 dip sequence looks like. But instead we have the opposite. It's hanging around the top of the Bollinger Band. So again, we can do our price alert, seeing support right about here, 32.5 cents. Seeing some more right down here, about 31.6. Higher support here, about 34.6. So let's see. Yeah, 34.5. So this is the support I'm seeing on the 5 minute chart. You know, any of these would be better entries than what we have now, obviously. I'd probably be leaning towards this middle one here if I were going to go that route. I don't do price alerts that much. I like to use my indicators. So I'm going to go over here to my 15 minute. Delete these. Bring divergence back. So got my bullish divergence here. What you can also do is do multiple alerts. Do bullish divergence and MFI and RSI. The situation lined up pretty nicely here. Doesn't always happen that way. But just like we did with Luna, you can also do your crossing up on the 20 on the MFI, crossing up on the 30 on the RSI. So any questions on Ren? Right. And that's the only one that's very bullish and bullish. Let's refresh. I will also look at those that are bullish and bullish. Got Cake, AGI, XMR. And since I'm primarily a leverage trader, I look for those that I can trade on leverage. And those three that we just looked at, XMR, I think is the only one. I don't remember if AGI or actually Cake might be. But I'm gonna go with XMR. Familiar with that one. I trade that from time to time. Monero. Day charts had a nice move lately. It's pretty close to reclaiming what it lost back from last year. Had a big move in August up to 341. Lost about 60%. Pretty nice move back up. On the hour, choppy, but pretty nice trading range here from about 270 to 215. That's a really nice range for a day trader. 5 minute. I clicked the divergence off on the 5 minute chart. I don't think it's very useful in that short a time frame. I tried to trade it before with not good results. 15's pretty good, 30 and higher is much better, but you won't get many trades. So I like to stay busy. I like to make a few trades every day. I bend the rules more than I should, but those of you who are more swing traders have more patience. You can use these same tools on the longer time frames. For now, we're on the 5 minute for XMR. Again, it's like the others we've looked at. It's mostly gathering on top of the top of the Bollinger Band, which is not really a good entry for those of us who like dip trades and retraces. So I'm seeing support here, about 238. And right about here. Did dip a little bit below that, but this would be a good entry. Around 253. So I like these two for price alerts if you want to go that route. Get rid of those. And then on your 15-minute chart, divergence back. There hasn't been any bullish divergence in a couple days, so I'd still go with that alert. Positive. Set that one, and then you're crossing above the 20 on the MFI, crossing above the 30 on the RSI. Any questions on XMR? Well, that's about all I was going to go over on Altcoin Alert. Some of you folks are new from that platform. Is there anything else you want me to go over? Maybe a particular coin you want to look at in Altcoin Alert? Okay, if not, we're going to go over to iCoinPro once, twice. Okay, we're off. So on iCoinPro, quick review. This is a very conservative day trading information source. There's two things I like here. I like the Buddy Coin Crawler and the RSI SPY. I look at these every day to try to find trades, just like I do Altcoin Alert. I like to sort the RSI SPY by the 1 hour RSI. We're looking for values 30 and below for longs. We don't have any at the moment because we've been pretty much pumping since late this morning. So this doesn't surprise me. You can use this information to go short, trade leverage and go short. They would not be happy if they knew I was using their information to trade leverage because they think leverage is way too risky. They might be right, but you know, we've got Luna here, overbought on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Some of these I haven't heard of. These are all Binance tokens, so I want the broadest range I can to look at. But Monero we just looked at, you know, it's overbought on 1 hour, 4 hour in the day, so this might be good to short if you're so inclined. Yeah, there's a bunch of them on here, but I don't want to go over longs and shorts right now since I think we have mostly spot traders here. So essentially, I'm looking for 30 and below on this sort, and I'm not seeing any. So if there's something like slightly above 30, I would look at that. We don't even have those. And the ones we do have in the 30s are Bitcoin pairs, which I don't trade. I want to trade 2 coins at the same time. There's no USDT pairs here until all the way down here at 46, and that's not useful. So we'll bail on that sort since we don't really have a good example of it. Go over here to Buddy Coin Crawler, which is the other sort I like to use. And then the Buddy Coin concept, they talk about in iCoinPro. Justin Clark, the founder, co-founder, he picks 3, 4, 5 coins every day to monitor, set alerts on. You know, I do the same thing, and those are the buddy coins for the day. So I like to use my Altcoin Alert, my iCoinPro to find at least, you know, 4 or 5 coins to monitor. And if I don't find that, I just do a sort on my coin list. So on this sort, I'm looking for values 5% or higher. I'm sorting by the average low to the SMA. The average low is a 24-hour low. The SMA line is that kind of pinkish red line you saw on my charts between the Bollinger Bands. So Binance has a lot of these fan coins, which I don't care for. But this one I've traded before, audio. It's got a drop-down menu. Go straight to Binance, Trading View. And this is new, CoinMarketCap. So you can get general information about the project that way. I'm going to open my Trading View chart. It should bring up the last chart I was using, but for this particular coin. So it takes me to the 5-minute coin or 5-minute chart on audio. Let me go to the day, get the big picture. Had a little freeze there. So we were as high as $4 on this one. Back in November. Lost most of that. Had a big pump though earlier this month. And trending down and then back up again. So this one's had a wild ride. It's been moving up lately though. Up about 46%. A pretty big drop there, but reclaiming most of that. 5-minute. Trending up slowly. Very squeezy here. You know, about 3% change between the Bollinger Bands. And this pink line, pinkish red line here is the SMA line. But in the last 24 hours, you know, it had this bigger move up, so that's why it registered on the Buddy Coin Crawler list. So I don't have a good entry here, which is pretty normal. It's rare that we actually get trades on this show. It happens about once a month. So we're going to look at our price, our support, and our indicators. So seeing some support right here, $1.33. I mean, there's some right here too, at about $1.35, but we're already $1.37, so wouldn't really want to go up there. See some more support here. around $1.28. So these are the two price levels I would be looking at. Then we've got our indicator alerts, divergence here. You know the rest. And the MFI alert crossing above 20, RSI alert crossing above 30. Okay, any questions on audio or the Buddy Coin Crawler? Let's see what else we got on the Buddy Coin Crawler. Look at something I haven't looked at before, like this one, Dego Finance, DEGO. It's been on Binance for a little bit. It's March of last year. I haven't heard of this thing, and I used to trade Binance all the time. So yeah, big fall, really hasn't done much. It had this spike up here on the 12th. It's lost about 70% of its value since its big move back in November. On the hour, trending up slightly off this divergence. Sometimes it looks slight on a chart, but it's actually more. So yeah, 6% and change. The 5-minute, trending up, but again, pretty squeezy here. Only got a few percent between the Bollingers. Yeah, about 2%. Yeah, so support right about here, 344. Or support here, about 333. Down here, 330. So that's what I'm looking at for price alerts. And for dips and retraces, you've got the same thing. You can put your alerts on divergence, MFI, RSI. I want to throw a little wrinkle at you guys. We haven't talked about these in a while. I've been tinkering with some trend-based alerts, and there's a lot of them on TradingView. On this one, I've combined the half trend, the whole suite, PSAR. If you do a search in TradingView indicators for the word trend, you get a bunch of them. There's a super trend, ADX, TDFI, the SHAF. We've talked about the other one, chandelier exit. That's another one we've talked about. So I think all these work reasonably well on the longer time frames, maybe 15-ish, 30-minute or above. So let's say you're in, we were looking at Luna earlier, and it doesn't come down. It doesn't look like it's going to, but you want to get in. What do you do in that situation? There's no, it's trending up again on the 15-minute. So in that situation, you can go over to one of these other, where was I? One of these trend-based alerts and try that and see if you can catch more of a wave. For those of you who are new, I've kind of dumped a lot on you today, but for those of you who attend this frequently, I'm trying to give you some new tools. Go ahead and tinker with the trend-based alerts and try to catch those. but just know that, at least in my experience, that the dip and the retrace overall work the best, but catching trends can be good too. So that's about all I have for iCoinPro, the Buddy coin crawler, Altcoin Alert. So does anybody have any questions?
Hey, CJ, it's Andre here.
Hey, Andre.
Hey, I got just maybe a question you've probably covered before, but like maybe is there something you could help us to guide us through how you start your day? Like, do you typically set up going through the process you just went through with us in terms of you scan the AA scores and the long-term sentiment and the Buddy coin crawler and that, and then set your alerts for the day, and that sort of determines which coins you're trading for the day?
I have done a video on that, yeah, last summer. So
Yeah.
I should probably update it, but you can find it. I reference it in my intro email for anybody who signs up for a free account for iCoinPro. Did you do that?
Yes, and I have
Right.
the spreadsheet as well as all your prior videos.
Yeah, so you can find it there. But there's a specific link to the iCoinPro email that I send personally. Now the system sends one as well, probably sends a couple of them, but the one from me, it'll say iCoinPro message from CJ. So if you still have that, you can, it's right in there. But if you don't have it anymore, you should be able to find it on that spreadsheet.
Okay, I probably do have that. Thank you.
Yeah, what he's talking about, there's a spreadsheet I put out every month that's updated by Patrick Bailey, one of the guys in our group, frequent attendees. And he updates all the descriptions of my videos, and you can just search that spreadsheet. You can also just search it in YouTube. You know, Crypto CJ day preparation, something like that. I'm not sure what the best search would be to find it, but I did it last summer, I think sometime between June and August, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. If you can't find it, you want to find it, email me and I'll track it down for you.
Great, thanks.
Good question. Any others?
Yeah, CJ, I wasn't fully paying attention when you're talking about Bitcoin. There's been some predictions by different people that it's going to go a lot lower than it is at the moment. I personally need it to go lower to get out of some shorts that I'm in.
Yeah, me
What
too.
what are your thoughts on where it is now and where it might go to?
Yeah, I did go over that. I can recap it real quickly. I've got this, I lowered my range down to 39 flat. We still have, support down here, about 36.8. So I think if it's going to dip below 40, it'll probably top out around between 35 and 37. That's where I see it. And, people I know and respect are predicting that, but I thought that would happen later today, and instead it shot up. We're over 41 now, so not sure how long that'll last. Just don't think we have quite the volume we need to keep pushing.
I was expecting it to go down over Easter, being a very low trading period, but it went down a little bit, but it came back when I was expecting it to go down.
Yeah, it went down a couple percent, but not that much. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, I will go ahead and stop this video here. For those of you in Carbon, go ahead and hang around. We'll talk about Carbon matters in a few minutes. If you're not in Carbon and you want to head out, feel free to do so. If you're not in Carbon, you want to snoop around and lurk and figure out what we're talking about, then you can do that as well. So thanks for attending today. For those of you on the recording, thanks for doing that as well. I should do a little marketing. If you're watching on the recording, please check out the information in the comments to help support this channel. So Everyone else, hang around. I'll be back shortly.